This is Kharkiv, no longer a city of 1.5 million people. Many have fled. The Russians are razing whole residential districts to the ground. They say civilians are being used as human shields and that soldiers are hiding among them. But how can they tell from up there as the bombs continue to fall indiscriminately? The battle for Kiev continues too, with daily shelling that includes residential buildings from Russian positions just 15 kilometers away, and closer quarters fighting on its suburban outskirts. Western intelligence assessments point to a ground offensive that has largely stalled, with Russian troops making little or no progress. But if towns like Irpin, Bucha and Hostomel were to fall, a path could open up for a push on the capital. And Russia maintains its stranglehold on Mariupol, the southern port city, another important strategic objective. A convoy of civilian vehicles, reportedly 2,000 of them, left via a humanitarian corridor that held for a second day. But still, no aid supplies made it in, and still hundreds of thousands exist in conditions of unimaginable hardship. Bodies are said to lie uncollected in the street, supplies of food, water and medicine near exhausted. Easing the plight of Mariupol was a key demand of the Ukrainian side in ceasefire talks that continued on Tuesday, but there is a lot more still to do.
On behalf of the Ukrainian people, we give you a chance to live. If you surrender to our forces, we will treat you as humans have to be treated, with dignity, the way you have not been treated by your own army, and the way your army does not treat our people. Choose.
So a second day of ceasefire talks, and separately an advisor to President Zelensky has said he believes the war will be over by May at the very latest. A prediction based on intelligence reports of slower than expected Russian progress, larger than expected Russian losses. Its forces spread increasingly thinly across the vastness of north, south and eastern Ukraine. Wishful thinking, perhaps.
The units of the People's Militia of the Donetsk Republic continued to compress the encirclement in Mariupol. The general advance from the east, the northern and western direction was up to 800 meters. The divisions of the Russian armed forces are continuing offensive operations.
There are reports that Russia has already prevailed on allies like China and Syria for help. But all the heart in this fight belongs to Ukraine, and it refuses to submit. Jonah Hull, Al Jazeera, Lviv.